Now, I'll also just say, I noticed some of the Journalist of the Year award winners at a bunch of different awards and sites. I noticed they're just nowhere to be found on this topic, as per usual. It's just the bozo people with the Pokemon avatars and no identity. You're like, sorry, got it all wrong, guys. It won't happen again. Like, these people not only do they have trash sources, they don't have enough sources and they don't have the technical ability and technique understanding to actually know how to corroborate information. Hence why they're just wrong and they're having to do all these apologies. You don't see me and Richard Lewis having to do apologies and retract what we said, because we can stand by what we've said. We know it's legit. We have even independently corroborated it. I do not tell people how to live their lives. Are you fucking kidding me, love? Go listen to the rest of this video. But I do challenge things I believe to be unfair. And I believe it is unfair for someone to publish accusations when I am not able to respond directly on the same forum on account of them blocking me. So now blocking her and then making accusations is unfair because she can't respond directly. And then she says, anyway, usually I don't comment on stuff like this. I just ignore it. However, I just think sometimes things should be dealt with directly. And hey, I didn't deal with it directly last year. So Duncan, I'm sorry I didn't call you out to your face and I didn't know I'd upset you. If you can believe that at this point in time, I've got a bridge over Brooklyn to sell you guys. But anyway, that thing about how outrageous it is to make accusations when you got someone blocked. I don't complain about blocks, but I do keep receipts. So do you know what, guys? See if you can believe it. I'm blocked by Frankie. And I've been from, I think, 2021. And she's made all sorts of accusations and comments about me, but I'm blocked. I can't reply to her directly. Now, I don't have a problem with that. Also, notice on my blocked screen how different mine is from other people's blocked screen of me or other people. So what you see is down here in the bottom left, you can see it's the Thorin account. I'm proving, actually, that this is my account as long as I didn't doctor the image. That is blocked by Frankie. They just put the middle part of the screen that says you're blocked with no clue as to whose account it was. Let me just think, guys. You know all those bazillion people who say they were blocked by me for nothing, never even talked to me. You are aware they could just download one screenshot of one person like this and anyone could post it. And if it became a famous thing, it got you clout. And then other industry idiots replied, well, I'm blocked by him too. He's crazy. He blocks us all. Probably just for existing and being women. They could just do it and fake it. This isn't evidence in any context. Anyone can get that screen. It doesn't even say anything except someone at one point was blocked by Thorin. In this case, I was blocked by Frankie Ward. Just interesting how she never was able to keep the same story. Then down here, interestingly, to people asking me to speak out, do bear in mind, this is a done deal. As though there's no point speaking out if the deal's done, because obviously then you'd never be able to work with them. That's the implication, right? You should only do it before so you could stop the deal, but still work with them. Because remember, working the event she wants to is the most important thing to her, not her lives of her gay friends, the lives of gay people and women in Saudi Arabia, the lives of gay people around the world, people speaking out against LGBT, people using LGBTQ slurs. When it actually matters to get her job, if to get her job she has to ignore all that, that is what she has proven time and time again she will do, despite in the meantime trying to take credit for not having worked with them when she doesn't get the offers, and then also call them out and call them murderers and all the rest of it. But now, what would the point in calling them out be? It's a done deal. And in fact, I'll just say it right now. Stop listening to the frauds on Twitter and Reddit who, to be posers and to posture, pretend they have high-level tactical understanding. They have a deep strategical philosophy on the game and then just demand that you have to do that all the time. And that's the only metric by which we judge analysts. They're not fucking Glaive 2018 like they pretend. They really are Gold Novas and DMG players or people who just watched 10 years of Counter-Strike and never understood anything beyond the fragging and concepts like, hey, you just rotated off that spot well. Like these people are frauds and they are a tiny, tiny, tiny vocal minority and they look like the majority because they just dominate the discourse and because they say the same stupid things that young men go, oh yeah, I totally get what's going on there with that. The tick-attack is, yeah, that's how they revolutionised the game. Like people just repeating fucking talking points. People don't want that. And the reason why I can tell you these people are frauds, by the way, they couldn't tell that elite teams at these last two majors were playing badly. They just thought these other teams were incredible and the new best teams. They couldn't tell that G2 wasn't like breaking the boundaries of Counter-Strike when they had that streak of series and maps and won Katowice so easily. They really couldn't see that. They were just fragging out. And some of them weren't even playing that great on CT side in terms of like hooking up with each other, properly playing off each other. They were just having insane individual performance. They couldn't see that. They can't tell the difference between Huxley as an IGL and Alexi B is an IGL. Some of them actually think Huxley's a better IGL. That's the level we're talking about with these characters. Don't add on to the joke unless it's totally completed. There's a great line from the underrated movie Glengarry Glen Ross, which was by Al Pacino's character, Ricky Roma, and he says, you never open your mouth till you know what the shot is. So don't ever try and help or add on or react to what this guy's saying till you know what it was, like till he's made his point, till he's got it out there. Because so many bits and stunts are just fucking ruined by this. I see it on CSGO discs. It's criminal on League of Legends how they will just ruin each other's jokes and jump in there and just shit all over them with fucking low Twitch chat tier responses. As I'm trying to hear a banger joke or a funny angle or someone setting it up and the punchline's about to come and then some bozo just comes in and ruins the whole thing. These are the biggest broadcasts in the world, guys. That's not entertaining. It's the opposite of entertaining. We're going to start with our first one here. This guy here just says, everyone on the CSGO community is blocked by him. Thorin is basically monologuing at this point in time. Now, here's what's funny, boys. Let's just have a look, shall we? He has 12 followers. I have 210,000 followers. So by definition, he's just monologuing into a void. I have over 210,000 followers. If he's speaking to 210,000 people, would that be classed as a monologue? I mean, in theory, it would be a monologue, but at least it'd be a monologue with an audience, right? I don't know if this guy's aware of this, but if I was only tweeting on my timeline and not to anyone, they're all monologues at that point in time. There is no dialogue because I'm not speaking to someone and then trying to listen to what they say and then respond to it. I consider actually Twitter to be a one-way platform typically, unless it's my mutuals, the 1,000 or so people I do follow. And guess what? That's a way of showing through action I'm interested in what they have to say. People like this I don't know, didn't know existed till 2 seconds ago, don't care about the opinion of. I'm not interested in having a dialogue with them because you know what? Not only do I have 200,000 people follow me, which is way more than I could ever waste my whole fucking life having dialogues with, but some of them, let's say I've got 1,000 or so I follow and 210,000 I don't follow. That means there's 209,000 people who are choosing to follow me because they're in some way interested in what I have to say, but I'm not following them because I'm not interested in what they have to say and I don't know them. So that's how Twitter works. How about this one? This is pretty good. This guy goes, wait, I got blocked by the king of shitty takes who can never back up his points. Damn at Thorin. By the way, you don't see that anymore, you moron, if you're blocked. I only see this now because I've explicitly gone and searched. I wouldn't ever see it, you cretin. That's the way that Twitter works. That's what the block function does, you moron. You think it still shows up in my mentions? Think it through. He goes, damn at Thorin. Didn't know you were that soft. So I'm the king of shitty takes. You can have that opinion. And I can never back up my points. Let's go and see what points it is that he's been making and what I haven't been able to back up. Oh, look. The next tweet is just going, I forgot what an absolute edgelord at Thorin is, intentionally tagging me, is as a person. He knows me as a person now, not just a guy on the internet, with a persona, who has made a career about being loud about poor predictions and analysis until he came back up for some drama. Right, it isn't that I've done thousands of videos analysing the game, trying to tell the stories of people. It isn't that I've done hundreds and hundreds of written articles detailing on the long history of certain star players and great players. I haven't done all those, at this point, probably 1,000 interviews in my career with all sorts of pros from different levels of the game, different games themselves and scenes throughout the years, providing insight, extra information, a philosophical bent to what these players got. I haven't done any of that, right? All I did is just be loud about poor predictions and analysis and then just came for drama. And then when I thought, that's not a very interesting opinion, is it? I can't back up my points. I should back up my points against this guy. I should say, well, you've certainly made a very interesting point there about me being someone who just got famous for being loud about bad predictions. I would disagree, and here's why. Exhibit A, please, and pull out like a board. You will see that I have done that. No, exactly. I wouldn't waste my time, would I? it's pretty obvious. Hylissang's a guy where he's almost like infectious. When you play with him, you want to just get mixed up with fights. And you want to do what he's saying. You want to get... Listen, if Hylissang says it, why don't we go for it? Like, in my opinion, if you play with Hylissang and you don't go in after he goes in, you're just a cunt who doesn't want to win. Like, he won't make the right choice all the time, but you've got to love a player like that with the balls to engage like he does. This guy, at least, he might not have the best playing style in terms of, like, the ultimate playing style, but what a winner. What a great mindset. What a great teammate to have, by the way. And the fact that I'd heard stories in the past, maybe Rekkles was among the people who wanted Hylissang cut. The fuck out of my face. In fact, Carlos even talked about how last year there was supposed to be a super team with Perks and Hylissang. Guess what? Perks wanted Hylissang, boys. That's interesting how that works, isn't it? Notice it wasn't that Perks wanted to go mid and have Rekkles play DC. How does that work? But anyway, so my issue is, it feels like people didn't want to play with him. He feels like he was a little bit antisocial in one of the most social teams ever that had this whole crazy dynamic of like, we laugh off the losses, we laugh at ourselves for how people meme on us, and then we sort of shit on each other, so it takes the sting out of it, and that way we can mentally reset and come back. Think about Yankos with the spear stuff all the time. Did you ever see Reckless sort of make a joke about himself with gin and stuff? By the way, if he did, someone else wrote that for him and told him, star in this and try and crack half a smile at him. People will fucking love it. Like, the guy, he never seemed to buy into the G2 mentality. And the dumbest thing about that is, you're all going to think, because of how the last few years went, G2's about winning. G2's about winning in the sense that, yes, they're trying to make teams. But if you'd fit their culture, and you'd been a massive hit with their fans and gotten the team to have a great sentiment, you wouldn't have had to win. You could have stayed as well, even with these results. It would have been a different vibe to it. But then you've got the sense that, like, you aren't their people, mate, and you've sort of been fucking exiled from the village. You're in the wilderness now. Yeah, you have been scapegoated a little bit. You and Wonder, sure, of course. But you know what? Wonder for playing like shit half the time. And in this particular case, you just for not seeming like you wanted to be there. So guess what? They didn't want you there. That can happen. I know you've lived in some fantasy world of Fnatic all the time, but that can happen, mate. Welcome to reality. Welcome to the world that people like Forgiven and Soaz have experienced over their careers. So, okay, this is what happened. They got ultra rocked in the first two games. They're less than 30 minutes each, which back then was quick. First one's mega. Second game, Lupa's even playing fucking Singe. That's not even a meta pick, and they're still winning 2-0. Then, for the third draft, Samsung White just drafted to humiliate TSM and try and 3-0 sweep them. They blind pick Kassadin. They basically taunt Bjergsen into picking any of the strong, like Talon, Zed, whatever. Deficio even comments how the comps have been getting like extremely late game focused from Samsung White. And they've been doing this in each of the series that they're winning in under 30 minutes. And that this one, Jack even says, is excessively so. And they basically try to just humiliate them. So with the worst comp imaginable, pretty much, Samsung White, they lose that game and TSM gets a win. The fourth game's still a win for Samsung White. I think people often confuse that with the Samsung Blue Cloud9 series, where the fourth one was like a weird like base race or something really close. This one actually wasn't that close in the fourth game. They just got swept. They just got taken care of, kicked out the fucking playoffs. That's the end. Now look, Amazing is German. So understand, to him, I get why things like it should have, if we had have prepared this way, we could have done this, if we didn't make these mistakes, if people correctly exit. That's just the German way of thinking. I understand that. And it's his way of thinking. Maybe he does think that way. I don't think people like Wild Turtle and fucking Dyrus would make all these super clean plays and smart things like. I don't think Bjergsen at the time wanted assassins but couldn't play as well on them. Tried the supportive things but then had to help the rest of the team and have them be the firepower. Wild Turtle, like I said, is a bit brain dead. And then Lost Boy doesn't speak that much English and can't really truly shot call. And then Amazing's only been in the team for one fucking split. So I personally just think this is a reach, suggesting they do anything more than this. I think they're already, by the way, it's totally reasonable what happened as it is. They got to beat Star and Roll Cup one time, still got through thanks to the Svenskeren. I think, yeah, I still think if Svenskeren turned up, I don't know that Teske actually gets out of the group. I would still probably favour TSM, not least since it could have been a tiebreaker, right? So listen, the group stage meant they had a chance to. The Samsung Blue Series maybe could have been interesting. But come on, this is a reach retconning that they could have been in the final of Worlds. The Beatles said they get by with a little help from their friends, but I get by with a little help from my Patreon community. And this video was kindly supported by Matt Pugnatio Rajcula, Ahmed Hadjou, Bot Pounder 420, Toucan, Animosity, Tobias Bernasconi, Jensen Goh, Tosh, and a special thanks always goes out to my main man, Jerky's Minion. Would you like to ask me a question in my monthly video AMA? Do you want teasers to find out who are the upcoming guests? Maybe you want to take part in one of those lengthy but intense esports discussions I have with my donators? Or maybe you want to suggest a guest or a topic that I could cover? Well, if any of those tickle your fancy, put your money where your mouth is and join the Skrilluminati today, where in the description box below there is a Patreon link.